The average American spends $214,000 chasing a feeling. Last September, my friend Jake drove to the Apple store and spent $1,099 on a phone. I'd done the same thing the year before. He couldn't name a single thing his current phone couldn't do. But 24 hours after watching the keynote, his perfectly functional device felt inadequate. Not broken, not slow, just last year. Jake isn't unusual. He's exactly who that $214,000 number is built on. And over his lifetime, that feeling, engineered on purpose by people who profit from it, will cost him $214,000, just from upgrades, nothing else. I want to show you exactly how that number gets built, not in one decision, in dozens of small ones, each designed by people who spent billions making sure it would. 3 levers, the real lifetime math, and 4 steps out. I've run these numbers, most people haven't. So here's what that feeling actually costs. The average American replaces their smartphone every 2.5 years. Modern phones last 5 to 7 years with basic maintenance. The iPhone 17 Pro starts at $1,099. Most Android flagships sit right alongside it. Upgrade every 2.5 years across a 40-year adult life. That's roughly $17,000 on smartphones alone over the next 40 years. Before cases, chargers, insurance, financing interest. But phones are just the entry point. Add laptops, tablets, smartwatches, earbuds. Average US household spending on devices and services runs over $1,700 per year. Phones, laptops, subscriptions, streaming combined. Over 40 years, $68,000 out of pocket. Every dollar of that invested at 8% instead of spent on gadgets, over $340,000, the total cost of the tech habit. But Jake isn't trying to eliminate electronics from his life. He's trying to close one specific gap, the upgrade gap. That number is $214,000. Jake never calculated it. Neither did I, until I did. When did you last run that number? Because you're not buying technology, you're buying scheduled dissatisfaction, manufactured by companies whose entire business model depends on you feeling perpetually behind. And here's what makes it so hard to see. They don't need to make your old device worse. They just need to make you feel like it is. Who decided your phone was too old? You or the company that profits when you believe it? In 90 seconds, I'll show you exactly how, including the $500 million fine Apple paid after getting caught. Here's how it works. 3 levers, and they use all of them. The first is software. Every new operating system is built for newer hardware. Your 3-year-old phone can technically run the latest update, but it runs slower, drains faster, crashes more. In 2017, Apple admitted to deliberately throttling older iPhones. A $500 million class action settlement, with payouts finally reaching users in early 2024, confirmed what millions had suspected for years. The slowdown wasn't imagined, it was engineered. You didn't break your device, the manufacturer updated it into degradation. That's one. The second lever is repairability, or rather the deliberate elimination of it. An iPhone battery costs roughly $15 to manufacture. Apple charges up to $119 to replace it. A consumer staring at that bill on a 3-year-old phone thinks, maybe I should just upgrade. Exactly the calculation the manufacturer intended. That's 2. And if those 2 don't get you, the third one will. Because this lever doesn't touch your device at all, it only touches your perception of it. It's the annual release cycle. Every September, and this year Apple's WWDC keynote in June is already warming up the same machinery, the same phone you bought the year before, unchanged and fully functional, suddenly feels like last year's model. The keynote doesn't just sell the new device, it sells dissatisfaction with the old one. Every camera comparison implies your photos are inferior. Every new AI feature implies you're falling behind. You're not watching a product announcement. You're watching a psychological operation designed to manufacture desire by manufacturing discontent. And it works every time, not because it's targeting your logic, Because it's targeting your identity, the quiet fear that you are the kind of person who is behind. Jake felt it. I felt it. If you've ever walked out of an Apple store with something you didn't plan to buy, you felt it too. Now, isn't upgrading rational? New phones are genuinely better, right? Here's the honest answer. The improvements are real, but they're largely imperceptible in daily use. A 2025 flagship and a 2022 flagship both handle everything 95% of users actually do. Texting, calls, social media, streaming, photos, at roughly the same real-world speed. The performance gap exists in benchmarks, not in Jake's Tuesday morning commute. He's not paying $1,099 for a meaningfully better experience. He's paying for the knowledge that he has the newest version. That's psychological satisfaction, not practical value. Because if the daily experience is functionally identical, then the alternative almost nobody considers suddenly makes perfect sense. A refurbished flagship, 2 or 3 generations back, at a fraction of the price. A certified refurbished iPhone 14 Pro runs $360 to $410 right now. Same calls, same streaming, same camera quality for anything Jake actually shoots. Different price tag. Completely different story in his retirement account. Jake understood the system about 6 months after he bought the phone. I told him then what I'm telling you now. By that point, the excitement was gone, the payment plan had 11 months left, and September was already 4 months away. Here's what that cycle costs over a lifetime. 2 people, identical tech needs. Person A upgrades every 2 years, buys new laptops every 3, replaces accessories on schedule. Annual spend, $2,800. Person B keeps devices 4 to 6 years, buys refurbished, replaces only what actually fails. Annual spend, $900. Gap, $1,900 per year. Over 30 years, Person A spends $84,000 on tech. Person B spends $27,000. But the real number is the opportunity cost of that one habit, the upgrade cycle. That $1,900 annual difference invested at 8% compound returns grows to $214,000. The upgrade gap, nothing else. What has Jake traded against a feeling? What have you? What have I? The pressure to upgrade is manufactured. The embarrassment of keeping a 3-year-old phone is manufactured. The $214,000 quietly leaving your future is not. So what do you actually do differently? 4 steps, starting today. First, measure your device against your actual life, not theoretical maximums. Jake texts, checks email, streams music, shoots the occasional video. His 2022 iPhone handled all of it without breaking a sweat. Yours probably does too. Second, maintain what you have. A $119 battery replacement that adds 2 or 3 years of life beats a $1,099 upgrade every single time. Most slowdowns are software buildup, factory reset before you even think about upgrading. Third, buy refurbished when you do upgrade. Jake's next phone will be a certified refurbished model. Warranties, return windows, 30 to 50% off new. The stigma around used devices is manufactured by the same companies that profit from you buying new. The most financially rational person in the Apple Store, the one walking past it. Fourth, upgrade on your timeline, not Apple's. Smartphones should last 4 to 5 years, laptops 6 to 7. The rule is simple. Upgrade when the device genuinely can't do what's needed. Not because a keynote engineered a feeling, not because September showed up on schedule again. Jake drove home last September with a phone that felt exciting for about 3 days. By Monday, it was indistinguishable from the one he'd left behind. The payment plan runs 24 months. September is already 4 months away. The feeling will be engineered, right on time. The upgrade illusion doesn't attack your device, it attacks your perception of it. The phone already in your pocket might be the most rational financial decision you own. Keep what works, maintain what you have, invest the difference. That's the bin factor.